Welcome to The Profile. I'm Gary Dunn, and this week I get to interview Alan Lyford, but he's changed his name to Eric Gonzalez III.
No, sorry, I have to correct you. It's Enrico.
Oh, sorry.
Just get it right.
Yes. So, how are you, Enrico?
Very well, thank you.
So nice to have you here.
Yeah.
What's with the name change?
I just felt like it, you know. Yeah, just one of those things where you just pops up. So I thought I'd change it to Eric Gonzalez.
You said Enrico.
No, I've just changed it again.
Again?
See, it changes very quickly. See,
Okay.
you've got to be on the ball with that one. You know the messages I send you.
Yes.
You know,
So
always,
Eric or
yeah.
Enrico or Al?
Al will do. You know,
Okay.
Al will do.
Where were you born?
Born in Singapore, 1948, to Japanese parents.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I got that. Yeah, no, just thought I'd throw that in.
Yes.
No, born and bred in Singapore, went to a Catholic school run by French-Canadian brothers. Finished school 66, and by that time already got a contract with Philips Fontana and got into trouble with the principal, and that was about it. Yeah, so, you know, early start, mate, still at school.
Yeah. Well, I've got at age 12, your dad and yourself went into a talent contest in Singapore.
Yeah.
That was 1961.
61.
And I think your dad upstaged you. And
He certainly did. And I said, Dad, there's a radio talent time competition on, you know. He said, oh, yeah. He said, do you want to go in? And I said, nah, too scared, you know. He said, nah, come on, I'll enter, you know, back you up. So we got through the heats, and I think the first song was Island in the Sun, you know. And Dad sang Hey There, you know. The Ray Stevens has got a version of it, I think. Anyway, got through everything, got to the finals, and he ended up clanting a lot of them. Took the first place.
he beat you too.
Yeah, actually, there's a bit of paper I've got here which is quite interesting. There was a great harmonica player from England. You know, he used to play a chromatic harmonica. He was absolutely.
Remember his name or?
Yeah, it's actually on
the
sheet. Yeah, and him and another singer, a Malay guy, who was, you turn his head, you think it was Johnny Mathis, you know. And
there goes the thermometer.
And so there was about 4 people considered for third place. And I was one of them, you know.
Yeah.
And apparently the story goes, the judges said, oh, you know, there's already one Lyford and that we can't give another one in there. So, you know, but, you know, that's the way he deserved everything, because he's my mentor, and, you know, one of the greatest singers I've ever heard. Never heard him sing a wrong note. You know?
So if I could ask you a question,
Yeah.
what was the turning point in your life that made you start playing and,
Well, I
and being
guess
involved would be your dad?
It started from that, you know.
Yeah.
Then Dad used to get big shows with the radio orchestra in Malaysia, and the guy who ran it, the MD, Gus Stein, he ended up living in Sydney.
Yeah.
No thermometer for that one.
That's a thermometer, not a thermometer.
He was a great keyboard player, and he was one of the judges when Dad won it.
Oh, cool.
So he got Dad into doing all these other shows in Malaysia and everywhere, and the highlight, I guess, was meeting one of the guest artists at the finals was Victor Borg, you know, Vegas, you know.
Yeah, there he goes.
And offered Dad a job in Vegas, and Dad turned it down because he worked for Shell. Dad, we could have gone and lived in Vegas here, you know. Anyway, that's basically the start of it.
Yeah.
So he used to drag me along to do shows with him, you know, blind school, the leper colony in Singapore, and all those kind of gigs. It was serious, you know. They were very serious gigs, because you couldn't touch anything close by. And the blind school was the worst one. He said, Dad said, we need a bass player. I said, oh, yeah, okay. Oh, we've got one here. He lives upstairs. I said, is he all right? Can he see? He said, no, he's blind. And he carried a huge double bass, 3 flights of stairs, and never bumped it once.
Wow.
And a great bass player, and he's blind. That was the most nervous gig I guess Dad and myself have ever done in our lives, because their hearing was just impeccable, you know. But, all those... Basically, then Dad was offered a contract with Philips Fontana, and because being only a few whites in Singapore, you know.
You changing legs there?
Yeah, I thought. Okay. Did you change as well?
Well, no, I'm changing because you have.
I'd appreciate if you don't follow me, mate.
Okay, I think
certain moves.
No problems.
Just you know.
I don't want to upset you.
What was I talking about again?
I can't remember.
Well, I can't either. So
Okay, so I'll move on to this. You moved to Australia in 68.
68.
And formed a band called Cashbox with Jim Sheridan.
No, Jim Sheridan was in Quill at the time.
Okay.
You know, and
That's what I got written in my notes here.
The bass player in the Troubadours was also from Singapore.
Yeah.
Refresh my memory, Pete. Jimmy Lee.
Jimmy Lee.
Jimmy Lee said, what the hell are you doing here, man? I said, not very good. Yeah, don't get him, mate. Many working on. So I said, okay. So actually he got us the job, and then I met Bob Marr, you know.
The one and only.
And then the first gig I think he got us was the Burley in Bunbury.
Yeah.
You know, real rough those days. And then
Still
Pinocchio's.
is.
Yeah, still is. And Pinocchio's Bunbury was an old church. You know? And he didn't tell us that there'd be quite an audience outside before we even went in. There was no one in the place because everyone was outside. You know? Yeah, so that's the first. You know, and then started off with another band, Revue, in '70.
Yep.
You might remember a few names, as Graham Ford was the guitar player.
Yeah. There goes the thermometer again.
Yeah, and then Mark IV with some, you know, the experience, and the whole thing was starting to gather momentum. You know, there was Philip Rigg in the band, Cliff Toll, Jamie Rigg, and Kevin Smith used to be in a band in Melbourne called the Cherokees. Yeah, you know, and yeah, so it went on from there, and then the band folded. Philip and Jamie went back to Sydney, and then there was another one.
Can I just stop you there?
Yes, you can.
Sorry, because Mark IV played the top hat.
Yes.
Des Joes was on the door.
Yep,
the top
certainly
hat.
Was.
So did you see the transition from Des being a bouncer on the door to actually becoming the owner? Was it like was there a baseball bat?
Actually,
or
I
was it
helped him.
Did you? Can you tell me that
No.
story?
No, Chris used to manage the place.
Yep.
And then
What happened to Chris?
Chris ended up having a jewellery shop in Fremantle, I think. Had enough of it, you know. And then I can't remember exactly when
There's
Des
no
took
truth to
over.
the rumour of standover tactics from Des or anything. It was just he just went to have a jewellery shop.
Well, I went in the band room one night and Chris was tied up. That might have something to do with it. I don't know.
Okay, I just had to get that one in and then obviously you worked with Basil Videlli and
Yeah, yep, for a long time there. That was the Mark IV. That was in '72 again.
Yep.
And the first time I think in Perth they had two keyboard players. We had Jamie Rigg as well, you know.
Yes.
But we didn't have Kevin at that time. And someone else had registered the name behind the Mark IV's back, so we couldn't get gigs. This is the new Mark IV. So the old Mark IV had to go up north and get gigs. And Basil couldn't come because he was working during the day at Stirling, you know, as a mechanic.
you actually held young Michael in your
Yeah, I
arms
think
in those
Michael was
days.
about 3 weeks old, and
Wow.
and Basil had died. I said, "Come over, Al," you know, and he said, "Yeah, Michael's." You know, he was already 4 foot tall back then. It was hard to carry, you know. He was 4 weeks old.
4 foot tall.
Yeah, he was already 4 foot tall, you know. Yeah, so go back a long way there, you know.
So Enrico, Eric or
No, sorry, it's Al, mate.
Al.
Yeah.
Okay. Alan Lyford, you were the lead singer in Manteca. You
Yep.
started in '79. I mean, a lot of people's favourite band.
A lot of
Manteca.
people what?
Their favourite band. They come on the show and they say, I asked them what their favourite band is, and I've got this question here for you later. What was your favourite Perth band you saw live? And you could say Manteca, but a lot of people have said Manteca or Bakery or...
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a bit of kudos.
Yeah, '79. That was a bad part, you know. And Alan Pithers, we'd worked together for a long, long time, and he said, "Al, come and join this band." And I said, "Oh, mate, you know." Anyway, you know, I knew Glenn Walsh was in the band. I knew Brendan Darby from, you know, in the Saab, you know, and I hadn't seen this bass player, which Al was talking about, Paul Pooley, you know. It's just like, and I heard this and I thought, oh, this is interesting, you know. So yeah, I joined and it was great, you know, to have a full band like that.
You were telling me
I don't like it, by the way, being a lead singer,
No.
as you probably know, mate.
Well,
I'm a band member and like
Yeah.
to be in the band, you know.
yeah, I couldn't believe
It's
it.
unfortunate that I sing.
In bands I was in, with you, well, the night after, and I'd sing a song and think, well, what am I singing a song for when there's such a great singer like yourself? But, you know, in the end, I worked it out, but we'll get onto that later.
What did you work out?
We'll get onto that later. Have you got some stories to tell us about Manteca and some of the filming you did in the Manteca series? And
yeah, well, we used to rehearse on a Wednesday, right? And it was at the conservatorium, Whopper, you know, and we'd rehearse and everything, go away, and then Thursday we'd have a quick run just to get a sound check and everything, and you know, we used to back then, you know, indulge in the,
Scrumentum.
Nationalise, you know, and go outside for a minute, you know.
Oh, you're changing leagues
no,
again?
don't change, just because I have.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got sprung one night. Hope no one's listening.
Of course not.
There's
no one
and
out
it
there.
was a great night because I don't know, it just felt right. I don't know, you know, and I can't mention any names, but there was a lot of people that were pretty out of it that night, and we had fun anyway. And I said, "Well, that'll serve you right for being greedy." Can't help you anymore, though.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. So you know, it was back. I mean, everyone was, you know,
In the day?
Yeah. You know, and I guess these days you can't drink, so you know, can you do?
Well, I wouldn't know what that's like. Anyway,
No, me neither.
you worked with Jim Rossiter in
Yep.
Catch. I had Jim Rossiter on the
Yep.
show a little while
Yep.
ago, and,
Yep.
and I said, "How are you, Jim?" And he said, "None of your business."
Yeah, he always says the same thing to me.
Yeah?
Yeah, but then I have a go at him, and he goes all soft and says, "Oh, I didn't mean it, Al." And
Yeah.
and then he says, "What do you want?"
He used to be
Yeah, we go back a long way, mate. I mean, in the Oralettes, it was just between Al and myself. We started off doing a reggae set.
You were world famous, of course.
At that time, yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Everyone knew us, you know, except for two.
Who were they?
I can't remember their names, but
Okay.
one was short, and one was tall.
Yeah.
And we thought, Bob Maher said, "Look, guys, we're starting up Gobbles, and but we're going to call it Harrigan's Ghost. There was supposed to be a ghost up there, you know."
Yeah.
And so it was Glenn Walsh, Brendan Darby, Lucky Oceans,
And the Octopus.
and exactly.
Yeah.
He never appeared much though. That's the bummer.
The
Got
Octopus.
paid, the bastard, but we never showed up.
He had fill-ins all the time.
Yeah, Mark, you remember that, don't you? Don't shake your head, just agree with me for nothing. So
you got to admit, Mark just loved putting the microphone on you tonight. He loves it, getting that microphone up.
oh, we
on
go
your
back a
shirt.
long way.
I know you
yeah.
do. I noticed it.
He used to dress us at Gobbles and
Did he?
Harrigan's, yeah, many times.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, we won't get into that too much because
Yes.
he'll get all funny.
He already is. Isn't he?
He's going white with fright. Anyway, we do this half reggae set, and Brendan used to get on the drums, and Glenn Walsh used to play the congas, whatever. And we do all the songs in that set were Beatles songs, so reggae style, you know. But she was just that, you know, everything was like that, yeah. And it didn't work out, you know.
No.
There's about 4 people there, you know. It was 4 nights a week. Industry night was Wednesday. Thursday was Miss Ugly World, and Friday, Saturday just normal. Anyway, we got it going, and during the reggae sets, we used to get this guy to go and wet himself in the toilet. Not literally wet himself, but, you know,
Wet himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a beach umbrella there, and he used to lie on the stage. So while we're playing the reggae songs, and we used to wear, you know, makeup, and Brendan Darby used to have
I saw a photo.
with that albatross on his head, you know, and we used to do stupid things, you know.
I saw a photo where you're all naked.
We did, yeah. Yeah, it was very cold that day too. Why you're all laughing? Well, except for a few people, you know.
Yes.
Which
Well,
is-
Brendan said to me
yeah,
that
a stand came in
he had the
handy.
moustache. And,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
And is a photograph. It's hiding behind a couple of leaves, which wasn't spotted, you know. And I'll have to curse Bob Mark because he's got the photo.
Yeah. No, well, Brendan Darby actually brought it in.
The rotten. Anyway, yeah. Hope he didn't sell it for much.
He's going to do a portrait of me.
He is.
Yeah, he said he's a great painter. He said, I've got a chisel.
No, he's not, mate.
He is. My
no, I don't think he is.
Alan,
we'll all agree that even Jim, you try to paint Jim. Have you seen the photograph you painted Jim?
No.
Looks nothing. He looks like you.
Yeah, okay. But my producer's like been on the phone 10 times this week saying, you know, you bugger, you know, I wanted a portrait.
Yeah.
And he, you know, picked me, of course. But anyway.
Did Jackie have any objections to that?
Not at all.
Well, that's not what you told me the other day when I rang, when you were there too. Anyway, what were you saying before?
I was saying nothing. You were telling me about...
Yeah, and it eventuated, it was about, you know, roughly about 100 people get there, and it's just all of a sudden, one night, Glenn Walsh said, guys, I can't do this anymore, blah, blah, so he left, and Rick Whittle came in.
The octopus gets the big ring.
A bit longer. And
8 rings.
And then all of a sudden, we said, Bob, we're not getting enough money. Can we get a bit more? He said, yeah, okay. And that was it. And he said, but I'm putting you guys in charge of entertainment. So we thought, great. So we had the Frying Ron Ricos, with this fantastic physical act that they used to do. They just to pile on each other. That's it. Nothing else. Did they, Mark? That's all they did. You know, and they didn't fly anywhere. They just to pile on each other and roll around the place.
And that was it.
People hated it, but we loved it because we were in charge of entertainment. And then we had, you know, all sorts of things. We had Miss Ugly World, and of course the ugliest woman would win it.
You couldn't do that these days.
No.
It'd be politically incorrect.
No, I thought you'd be politically correct. Anyway. And on Wednesday night, I'm sure Red Faces, Hey Hate Saturday stole that from us because I saw Daryl Summers up there a couple of times, you know. And we used to organise it that the DJ would win it every Wednesday, you know. So that was it. And his theme song was Baxhall Ford, but we'd all play in different keys, including the drums. We'd play in a different key as well.
How did that work?
Well, there's a few people who used to get shitty because, you know, we had this big farmer who was going to thump everyone, and including Bob Maher was that night. He was laughing up the back because the DJs won it again. So there's some great singers, you know, used to come up there and perform. They knew it was a joke, but this guy didn't. He used to love the band. He said, that's a bit unfair, you guys giving that.
I think you misunderstood when I said, how did that work?
It worked very well.
No, everyone playing in a different key.
It worked well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it would, you know, Yellow Jackets would be bloody envious, mate. I tell you, you know.
Okay. So songwriting with Rossiter, you did a lot of songwriting.
Yeah. Mainly with Al Pithers, actually, more so.
When Rossiter was on the show, he started to go on about when they would walk into each other's gig. No matter what they were playing, they would throw in, the hills are alive with the sound of music, and then...
No, it's a lie, mate.
It's a lie?
It's a complete lie.
I heard you do it at Gobbles reunion.
You did. I did it the other night, actually, on a gig.
Did you?
But no one heard it, though.
Yeah.
I did it on the night after reunion.
I know.
And no one heard it?
No, I've got a recording of it, so I'm going to go back and listen to it.
It shows you guys weren't listening then.
Well, obviously we weren't. But you were playing, we are family, hills are alive with the sound of music.
No, I did it in The Freak.
Oh, The Freak, was it?
The Freak.
The Freak.
Yeah,
The hills are alive with the sound of...
Yeah, you've got to chuck in a very quick one, though. You know, so if you're doing a thumbing thing, you've got to stop and go... Da, 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 da. You know? And if you do da, 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 you can do the other da, 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 ba, ba, so you can play a wrong note at the end of it. So then people will...
I only turned around on the wrong note.
But most people think, oh, he's stuffed up there, you know, but anyway.
But Al Pithers or Jim Rossiter didn't walk in, so what was the reason for doing it?
I just thought I'd do it, you know.
Okay.
Even though no one knew anything about it, I thought I'd do it anyway. Get them familiar with it.
Oh my God. So many times you worked at Gobbles in many different bands. I think Trouble at Home, a great name for a band.
Well, the first band actually was Cashbox.
Okay.
And it was called Decker's back then. It's called Decker's Nightclub. And then it went to, with the Revue, it went to still Decker's. And then it went to Gobbles, and they had a big fight, and it closed down, and then it opened again, Gobbles, and it had another big fight, and it closed again. It was Harrigan's, and it went on another big fight, and then the big Mafia boys bought it. And then it was all over. Yeah, so it goes back a long way, mate. Revue, Cashbox Revue Oralettes. There was another band I worked there too. I can't remember that one. And then Trouble at Home, you know, which is the Brian Westlake Band first. You know.
Brian Westlake.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah. And then
free advertising.
Yeah. And then obviously the night after being the longest residency ever.
It was nearly 9 years for us, wasn't it?
For you, for me, it was nearly 6.
Yeah.
For you guys, you were
We had
12 months before
Nick
that.
Needus and Carl Pink obviously played bass as well before he graduated to keyboards and then singing.
Yeah.
And I think we did the Men on Pause. Remember?
Yep.
We were Men on Pause from 4 a.m. till 6 a.m. I think Saturdays.
Right. Yep.
And,
yep. And there's the Chisel set on Sunday.
Yeah.
Which was good fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just great fun, wasn't it?
It was, mate. I mean, your residency is fantastic, especially you got a crowd going like that for so long.
Yeah.
Which is unheard of in this town, you know. Really. Your gig will last 6 months if it's just one night a week or whatever. But it's all changed. It's all changed.
Yeah.
You know?
And you had a lot of real power, really, because, you know, like my producer used to come up there and get some drink chips.
Well,
you know, all those sort of people were
and
chasing
the
drinks.
best part of it, all the artists we backed too up there. You know, had a chance to meet them.
Yeah.
I mean, rest his soul, John English. You know.
Yeah.
There's
Aerosmith. Simply Red. Charlie Sexton.
Yep.
The Eurythmics.
Yep.
Her bell's just going. The
Madonna.
mic is going. That's Madonna.
No, she didn't go. Did another gig.
Enrico Gonzalez.
Yeah, he was later.
Yes.
He lost a leg at that stage.
I remember Tiny Tim.
Yeah, Tiny Tim with it.
Wafting away on stage there.
That's it.
We had 25 minutes in C, didn't
Ross
we?
Wilson.
Yep.
Yep.
And Mark Gable.
Yep. Yep.
Let's keep going. I mean, we could just Angry Anderson, the late Doc Neeson, the late John English.
Yep. And John Calabresi and myself had the pleasure of jamming with the Doobie Brothers.
There you go.
You know.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
It's like, you know.
Angus Young, remember he came
Yeah,
up?
that was twice we backed them in it.
Yeah.
He came over twice. Doc Neeson.
We could just keep going.
The list goes on.
Eric Wiedemann, I really enjoyed that. Deborah Conway had a big fight, remember?
Yeah, well.
Thursday night.
I mean, Gobbles, it's like you're buying a dance ticket, or a dance and a drink ticket, right?
Yeah.
So, and if you don't use it, you're stuffed, really.
Yeah,
you're wasting your money.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't
not
do
getting any
soppy
money
songs up there.
Because you get it all for free.
You can't do
That's the,
you know,
yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
work.
And
you know?
that's why when we did the reunion, we made no money because everyone wanted to get in for free. They thought it was just Gobbles.
Exactly.
You get in for free.
Exactly.
And you get your drinks for free and your chicks for free
and I mean,
your money for nothing.
You know, I'm sitting. This is a few years ago. I'm sitting in Sydney. You know, and I'm sitting there in a coffee shop.
You were standing in Sydney.
Yeah, no, I was
mainly.
actually sitting at that start.
Were you?
My legs were a bit buggered after a bit of shopping that day.
Didn't you get a new leg? Did you get a new leg?
I got wheels under my shoes now. Just, you know, Mark knows, he fixed it up for me actually. Yeah.
Put a bit of CRC in
He was a
there.
bit upset because I take away pretty quick, you know. Hard getting into a car though, it's really hard, very hard, because your feet keep rolling off the pedals, you know. Yeah, so what were we talking about again?
I don't know. This is worse than Paul Ewing, I'm sure. So let's talk about your new album.
Yes.
Okay.
Here goes.
Yeah, look, I've got to hold this right in the right
When
spot.
you say new, it's done in 2014.
Alan Lyford, Nothing Complicated, which...
Definitely my style.
Nothing Complicated?
And you know, really, it boils down to working in the night after.
Yeah.
Earning. When you said, Al, I'm giving you this, I said, can't go away. You know.
You
took
took
it.
it.
I'm a pauper. and no, I mean, having to go to the States, you know, as you know, for a month, that allowed me to do it, you know.
Yeah.
And all that blues and funk. I mean, you got LA and you got New York, but in New Orleans is the real deal, you know.
Yeah.
And you just open your eyes when you hear those guys live, this stuff, you know, not this, you know.
Do you want to give it a plug? You can actually get this at ProCopy.
Yep, you can get this at ProCopy, and my very, very good friend who engineered the Oralettes for a long time, and I think Trouble at Home, Mark,
What was his name?
Oh God, Flaunt
Whitehouse.
No, it was Mark. It was Mark.
Okay.
Mark is a dear friend. You know, we've been friends for a long, long time. Been to his wedding when he got married and everything. So, yeah, go back a long way. And yeah, You can get it from ProCopy.
Or is there somewhere else you can get it?
Well, I did have a website, but they canned me, the bastards. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Don't even know why.
Okay.
So
You probably didn't pay your bill.
and Tom Thorpe, a very good friend of mine. I
Very
went and
nice
do a session there one day, and he said, "Al, has anyone done a CD for you?" I went, "Nah, because no one wants to."
Well, Jackie and I
Yeah.
sit there often on a Saturday night, have a wine and listen to it. It's just unbelievable. If you never heard it before, buy it, because the musicianship is awesome. The songs are awesome. It's a really,
And
really good.
the players, you know, I mean, lucky to get, you know, one of my favourite piano players besides Alan Pithers, you know, is Mike Nelson.
Yeah.
You know, and like I went to Mike for 6 months
Yeah.
lessons. I mean, fantastic. So I mean, Tom, the production, you know, John Myers on it. Peter Walker,
Yeah.
a very good friend of mine. In the bakery years ago,
Yes.
he was over here. He played on one track.
Yeah.
Got Rick Eastman, bless his heart.
Yeah.
Did all the tracks, 2 live tracks with Johnny Meyer and Ricky. And Tammy, Tom's daughter, did the backup vocals, and Tom as well.
Tammy
And he
just
played-
recently filled in a gig for
yeah,
us.
yeah, great singer, mate.
Yeah, fantastic.
And Tom's become such a good friend, you know, a really good friend. And he did the production, helped me. He had heaps of songs in Oralettes days. There's
Yeah.
a couple there from the Oralettes, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, mate, I want to change. That's 80s. Let's change it. And so he co-wrote on just about everything except for 2 songs.
Yeah.
And my partner Jenny, bless her heart, she's on it as well.
What's
you
she
know.
doing on there?
She's just helped me write some lyrics.
Great.
You know.
Yeah.
And I'm fair, mate. If someone does one word, they're in. You know. So yeah, and it's great. And
I could have given you a word. You didn't ring me.
Yeah, so you know, lucky to have, and from the experience going to the States, a lot of the songs are dedicated.
No,
not dedicated.
it is fantastic. Really good listening music. Very good. So let's move sideways a bit.
Yep.
And
Shall we move this way?
if you like. Okay. Who are you listening to here on your way in the car?
No one.
Nobody?
No, I'm not a great listener in the car, mate. I don't know. Never been, I guess. You know, only when you have to, or you're listening to something, or you listen to the radio. I love the comments, mate. You know,
Yeah.
on the footy and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah. Your favourite band of all time?
mate. I can't really say, mate. There's been a few. I mean, again, Stevie Wonder's always been my guru,
Yeah.
and again in '81 had the pleasure of meeting him twice.
Wow.
You know, in the concert,
Yeah.
which my dear old dad organised for me without me knowing.
Yeah.
And I was just about to go out the door. He said, "Oh, by the way, son, you're meeting Stevie tonight." And I went, you know, like, phew, you know, and yeah, and I guess, you know, Doobies are great, mate.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. I mean, but again, my favourite artist at the moment is John Cleary. You know,
Okay.
just fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, unbelievable. A New Orleans boy, you know.
Yeah.
And he's from over UK, like, you know.
Yeah.
Come over, went to New Orleans to study, like, and stayed there, like, you know. Become Bonnie Raitt's favourite band to tour with, you know. So.
Do I not bothered?
Yeah. Porridge, like, you know. Yeah, water. It's in the water.
I remember when we went up to Broome the night after when they tried to get rid of us out of Gobbles, which was very unsuccessful. And we went with Doc Neeson and Andrew Anderson, and we used to sit up at 2 o'clock in the morning. The only thing that was on was the ABC going, "Order!
Order."
In the Parliament, you would go, "Water."
Yeah, water. Bring out the water, like, you know.
That just reminded me of that. Okay, if you were stranded on a deserted island, what album would you take with you? If there's only one album you could take, what would that be?
Probably my own, mate.
Yeah.
With, you know, having it, players on it, you know.
It's the first
one
time
of my
I've heard
one of my best friends is on there, Alan Pithers, you
Yes.
know, which couldn't play on it all the time because he was over in Europe, you know, doing his solo stuff. But yeah, I mean, mate, who knows? John Cleary will have to be one of them,
Yeah.
you know. And of course, I guess, you know, probably a few, but you know, you make a compilation on one album of your favourite artists. You know, I mean, Stevie has to be, you know, one of them, mate. Has to be. But Yeah, single artist, I don't know, mate. Just a single CD, hard to say, really.
Well, the way you sing Superstition, unbelievable. So.
Yeah, mate. Thank you.
Oh, you know, yeah.
Been doing it since 1973.
Yeah, so you must be good at it. That's why you're so good at it. So.
It's like, you know, the words, even without singing, it just comes out.
I'm getting the wind up from our producer.
Cool.
He's saying sign the guitar, sign the guitar. So we have this guitar which we're going to auction off on telethon and raise a lot of money for underprivileged people. Do you want to sign black or do you want to sign white on the side, black on the front?
I'll sign black, mate.
Black.
Black, here we go.
I really appreciate that, Al. You can see the names. Look, there's Lorraine and Steph the night after.
I
And
might sign next to Lorraine, I think, eh?
Yeah.
And
always close.
well, there you go. And
we won't talk about
we were saying, well, it was after.
We'll talk about that later. Look, while you're doing that, what was the best Perth band you saw live?
Best Perth band I saw live.
Thank you.
Recently, or?
Well, the best ever. I mean, they could be 1960s, 70s, 80s, whatever. You don't have to say shit. It's all right.
Can I say Excreta?
Excreta, fine.
Okay.
Enrico?
I don't know. God, there's been a few, mate. There's been a few.
Well, do you want to be interviewed? Because you can come and take his place if you want.
Mate, there's a few bands, mate. There's heaps, mate. I couldn't really.
You couldn't answer that
pinpoint.
one?
No, mate. It's a hard one because there's been a few good bands in Perth, mate. You know,
Pass?
Heaps of good bands, really.
So your favourite TV show growing up? Is that an easier question for you, Al?
Oh, God. It's a hard one, mate.
That's another hard one.
Another hard one. I don't know.
If I gave you multiple choice, I could say like F Troop or Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie or
I was much younger than that. With it, like.
Rin Tin Tin. Oh, come on. That would have been your...
Mate, in Singapore, if you're talking about back then, there was not a lot of those shows. We used to get the Monkeys on there, but, you know, probably stole a couple and did a couple of songs from then, but no, not really, mate. We used to listen back then. There's not a lot of TV. I loved the Goon Show, mate.
There you go.
It's one of my favourite shows.
It only took a minute to get that out of you.
Yeah, but that was, you said TV shows.
Well, the Goon of radio, of course.
I mean, you know, that humour is just gone, mate. There's nothing left of that. It's, yeah.
You're looking for an argument?
I've already paid for one, so.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I think I have.
No,
I spoke to Mark and he said I've already paid for it, so twice.
Twice.
With a coffee.
Oh, God. So what does the future hold for you, Al?
Don't know, mate. Still keep playing. Look, as the old saying goes, isn't it? If music be the food of life, play on, mate.
Yeah.
And my mum's eldest brother, rest of soul, mum's gone, dad's gone. And Uncle Barney will be 91, his birthday's after mine, in October, and he still plays. He plays pedal steel.
Wow.
He took a few lessons off Lucky, you know.
Wow.
And yes, I mean, I said, Uncle Barney, what do you reckon? He said, Al, just keep playing. Just keep playing, man. So as long as the fingers are going and I can walk, you know.
What, with that leg, the new leg?
It's getting there, you know, about a foot a day. So, you know, with a few more injections, it might get too long though, you know.
Yeah. What, the leg?
So if ever we did a night after gig, it'd be one leg on the rostrum and one leg on the floor,
yes.
You know, with the bass amp behind.
We will do another one, you know that.
Well, you can always hack it off. You know. It'll grow back the next day, so, you know, bandages and all.
So, do you collect anything?
People?
Yeah. Can you give me an idea of how many have they got them stayed at your house?
I've collected Mark a couple of times, you know.
Collected him?
Yeah, he fits into a paper bag quite, Acme Mark Whitehouse. You know. Mate, I'm an electric train fanatic. So
I know that.
My partner Jennifer and myself, we've just renovated the main house after Mum and Dad, whatever, gone, and tenants out. I actually kicked them out. So when the granny flat's free, I'm going to be setting up my electric trains, mate. It's only taken me about 40 years to
You've always
set
said
up.
that you'd have me around to play with your electric trains.
Yeah, I'm going to charge a fee though.
That's okay, I don't mind paying a small fee.
I'm actually going to pay people to come in. You know?
You're going to pay them to come in?
Yeah.
How much?
Oh, probably about $5.
I could be there.
They can
nearly.
take rubbish
That's
out with them when they
$35 a
go.
week.
Yeah, well, there you go. See,
Right.
rent free.
Yeah. Can I sleep at your place as well?
And the other thing I found out was I bought this train magazine just quickly, and there's this huge, massive train layout, and standing at the back of it is Rod Stewart.
Whoa.
He's taken 20 years for him to set it up or something, and he's got this massive, I think you're getting cues from there. You're going to get shot in a minute.
Oh, something about a racehorse, train, sets, port, I don't know, whatever. It's wind up, slide the guitar, wind it up. And
So it'll be a good way to pass wine glasses around, you know?
Okay.
Except they won't get through the tunnel, that's all.
so this is probably an odd question, but
Yep.
what would you put on your gravestone?
I
Strawny?
don't know. What the Christ are you all doing here?
What the Christ you all
Yeah,
doing?
what
here?
the hell are you all doing? I'm dead, you know? You coming? No.
No, that's original.
I know. I mean, I love Spike Milligan's one. I told you I was sick. you
Yeah.
know. But I don't know, mate. Who knows, you know?
I don't know, who knows?
That's good. Could be Al Enrico Gonzalez, you know?
No more.
No more, you know? But you can get his CD from ProCopy.
So I've got a question here, but it doesn't pertain to you. What's it like being a female in the music industry?
A female?
Yes.
I don't know. Actually, when I did the op last year, it was quite energetic. Actually, it got me going again.
Yes.
You know? The trouble is, in the morning, it's very hard. You know, when you go.
What's very hard?
When you want to go to the toilet, there's nothing there.
So, one last question, because
Yes.
I am getting moved on.
Cool.
Is there something that we don't know about you? Is there something nobody knows that you can share with us? Could be anything, nothing too serious, no skeletons in the closet or anything like that. Just
I still wear budgie smugglers when I go swimming.
sorry,
Budgie smugglers.
Smugners. Smugners.
Not smugglers.
Smugners.
Smugners.
What are they? What
Yeah.
are they?
They got no front on them.
What, just the back?
It's just a back. so it makes it easier to, you know, in case you've had a curry the morning before or whatever, or in the afternoon. Some people works quicker. You know, you can't tell. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, so there you go.
Punjab, so nice having you here.
Gaz,
Thank you so much. You're a legend.
thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful comments.
That's it. Off. See you later.
3, 2, 1. Wish I knew where we're going wrong. Seems so very long since we left together. It's no good to be all alone when you've hurt a friend and you both feel empty. What I'd give to erase the pain. Will we ever make the grade? Is it over? Or shall we try again for a brand new love affair? Seems to me we are both afraid that our love may fade, and we just won't get. Maybe soon